Hello and good morning. Hi, Dominic. How's it going, everyone? Wiggity wiggity wiggity. I don't know. I never said that before in my life. Why not? Why not? I say. How now, brown cow? I'll just say sayings all morning. I think that's appropriate. We can talk in poem or wrote. Greg's sick, so he not coming. I'm surprised. Really, it took him this long. Everybody got sick. We missed last week's live stream. We had a retreat that we were uh bound for, and look at what happened. Is Bang sick? So, yeah, we are here. I wanted to kind of go through some general stuff, but um, I know Dominic has been exploring some firmware adjacent things, and that's something that we have talked about in the past, but it's also something that we haven't touched on super recently anymore either. And a lot of the reason why, and it folds into the topic du jour, is printers are just getting so dang smart. There's we were talking actually about it earlier this week with another chap we know that printers are to a point where um, it's easy to use them, right? Like it's I've I've done it with my K1C. I did a whole upgrade where the K1C from Creality upgraded to have the four filament, and we'll talk about that stuff. Um, as we progress, but firmware is something that's important. Your 3D printer runs on it, but nowadays it's people like the old guard of 3D printing. So Dominic has been doing it a while. I've been doing it a while. Greg's been doing it a while. Everybody's been doing it a while. In general, our channel is going to be how you say the the more mature side of the 3D printer audience now, which is just fine. Um, so we've talked about that's better. Oh man, we talked a little bit about kind of changes and where things go to, but the next thing that we're going to talk about to probably in the iteration today is kind of like a new printer situation for you. Um, I mean, Christmas is coming. Don't say that out loud. Coming quickly too. Also, the Black Friday sales and such are on. I think that there are some really good deals, right? So let me just I'll list a few for you. Um, we got Creality has some really good Boxing Day stuff going on. Right now, you can get K2 printers, which is kind of like well, it depends which one you're looking at, but they have big ones like 400 almost build volume square. Those ones are running with the AMS or CFS or Cutie box or whatever you want to call the box with the four filaments on top. Creality has those running for it's like 16 Canadian, so like 12 Merkin. Let's see what a Merkin is. Just switch this up. Switch it up, switch it up. Yeah, 12 American. So, like, they have these. So that's Creality's kind of like out of the box flagship boxy square printer that we've seen before. Um, you can do screen cap. It could do screen cap. I don't know what screen cap is going to do, so that'll be interesting. None. Thank goodness. Okay, let me just let's pick a display here. It's gonna be this one. Ha ha ha. That one. There we go. And let's just fit this. This is the first time I've used this year since I've reimaged. So I gotta get some of my settings back. So it's been interesting. And also, all of the music that we used from last year on the stream has changed, which is great. So, no music right now as I figure that problem out. Lots of people want me to pay, and I'm like, but I won't pay. So, here's the Crowdy, the big boy that I was saying. This is a giant printer. It's in the class of the H series in size of Bamboo Lab. So if we just go Bamboo Lab, we'll get their stuff up too. Because guess what? They're having a sale too. So now I don't know how long these sales are going to last because obviously the Black Friday stuff is Black Friday or Cyber Monday, and usually after Tuesday those change. But I offer no promises. These are still these prices when you're viewing the videos. So when we look at like pricing, the size of the combo here for the K2 single extrusion, big, four filament changing. So if we come in here and look at the H2S, which is kind of like the matching Bamboo Lab, you can see that one, it is not on sale, zero sales. Wah, wah, wah. It just came out. Give them a break. But you will also see that the combo right now is $2,000 in Canada Duelers, which is probably like 1,700 roughly in American. So when we look at like value and bang for buck right now, definitely the Crowdy stuff is on sale. But there's another story to tell. There's another story, and it's so I will go here and that's down in the K2 series. So K2, I don't want the laser. Hey, look, they're finally doing it right here. It's like we said all along. Buy a laser separate. There it is. Laser printer separate. Get that. Um, and that's so the K2 combo, and I don't. That's the Pro. That's a big boy. Why don't I see? Well, let's just go to a site I know. I happen to know this website very well. Good friends. See them all the time. Bamboo Lab printers. Oh no, I wanted Creality printers. Here we are. So the K series is on sale as well, like I said. So here's the Plus, the big boy. Um, and then like you go down into here, the K2, and then the combo in these guys usually is 950. They're on for 750. So like again, take about a quarter off, and that's what you get for American Duelers if you're a Dueler person. I think some of us are. And so the real story there is that's a $950 printer. What happened is Bamboo Lab released the P2S. So if you look at their sale prices, they've kept them in the A models. The H2D, which was their big release not long ago, that one is the one that has the two heads. And then they also kept it to the P1S. And you can see, like, the P1S is just aggressive. You're not beating this price. At this moment, it's $700 for the combo. You do have to wait a bit for it. I'm not sure what the wait's for, but you get the regular version number one AMS, and then you get the P1S. It's of note that the Creality printer is bigger, but not to say that if you want bigger projects, you can do it. But both are similar, except for the fact that the CFS is more advanced than the regular AMS, and actually the AMS too. So it has some other stuff going for it from the other brand. Ecosystem. Both of them have ecosystems they live in. Both of them offer an app. Both of them can print through the app or the slicer. I will talk about that stuff too. Howdy, howdy. Yeah, the tool changing heads are cool. So the H2S series has the tool changing on it in the Bamboo Lab. Creality doesn't have anything that matches it yet. So this is where you can kind of see Creality has taken the single nozzle with the CFS and ran with it. They give you better bang for your buck in that market now. It's just a fact. There, but in the other way, if we look at the H2D, this the H2D is the one. I wonder if let's get off the store. Who likes the store site? That's dumb. Let's just go to bamboolab.com. We have two bamboos at the makerspace, and they worked amazing. Where's the makerspace? Is it in a library? Is it like, or like what's the makerspace? That's my question. So, let's check out. I want to bring up the 2D. Oh, nice. Yeah. And the thing is like Bamboo Labs have a really good, like, when you're talking flagships, and we're going to look at QD Tech in a second here too, but I'm sure they have a sale going. I'm trying to look for, oh, there it is. Duh. I was looking for the actually H2D. So, like, yeah, there's the H2D, which is the two heads, and H2S, which is the new one. This is, let's see if we can just see a quick picture. Grab it, bring it. The tool changes are cool. I've heard some issues already, but that's the same thing with every new printer. So I'm not sure if I would read like into that they're going to be like a long issue. Does it actually show? It's got to. Uh, it doesn't show. That's fine. It's interesting in the tool head changing side of things that they are kind of in a competitive price point to Prusa. So, um, let's look up QD Tech. Now, there is a huge use case for what kind, mm, which ecosystem you pick for which use case, right? Um, and also it depends on like your network space and security, right? Bamboo Lab, the in general how it works is when you hit slice and print locally, it will send that print file off your network to the Bamboo Lab servers, and the Bamboo Lab servers grab that, spool it, decompress it, send it down. Your printer starts printing, right? Um, so that's great if you have that network access, or if your network security teams allow that handshake to happen. There's reasons to allow them, obviously, and to not to allow them. And um, in a makerspace, yeah, that'd be, you know, that that would be of advantage in that you could just lock it to a computer, and then people just use the 3D printing computer to send prints if they're allowed to send their own. Um, Now we can see here that the Plus 4 is on sale for the QD Tech. And I think that's the one Dominic recently purchased. But you can see again, it's a square deal. Has the controller up top. Um, yeah, and so Dominic just said he's going to buy a machine that takes index in a year, and that's really the next logical step where we're going. They tried it with the H2D on like a small scale. Turns out lessons were learned there. And then QD Tech has yeah, so $7.99 for the QD Tech plus four falls in line with all the others. But they also have there it is. They have the QD box, and then you have different compatible printers. Obviously, for um, different models they have, you need different connections. So it's also available. Now, the one thing I didn't see, let's see if I add this to cart. No, nope. I don't see a bundle. Now that just might be me. Let's go not to the Black Friday sales. 3D printers. And do. Yeah, and so it's actually kind of cool. Oh, there's the combo. Dominic's had it for a while. And like he says, yeah, no issues. Um, I think that it's and he's had some good luck with the customer support side of things too. So that's really neat. I just bring up QD Tech. Now, Elegoo, something interesting on that side of things. They have another printer around the same price point. You can see that this combo is on sale. This is the max for though, but it's on sale 1680. Do you have the plus for? There it is. I took the max, not the plus. $1,000. So, and apparently this is a pre-sale thing because it doesn't work, but like, or they haven't fully released it. I thought they had for all the line, but regardless, um, QD Tech works wonderful. It would be something that we could recommend as well. Um, when you're using things for home, I always say the best option is the one that doesn't cost you the most amount of money, but does everything you want. And um, let's just look up the Bambu Lab tool changer. And I just want to show you kind of like what the difference um, is. And I think we need to look at the H2C for that. So let's saunter over. I think I was on the H2S page before, and H2S is their single extrusion, just bigger one. Let's go back to the Bambu. Bam. H2C. Learn more. So again, all of these printers too. It's worth noting that have like the four colorment changing system on top of them. They will all say that they can print up to 16 colors generally. I haven't met one that doesn't yet. So that's a good thing. So here's the H2C. Let's see if we get just a nice picture of the lots of advanced features on these guys too. Sensors, more sensors for bed leveling, better servos for extruding. They can detect more air faster. Now, I'm not sure, and I have not heard, and I will keep my ears out for this, if the AI processing checklisting is all done on the machine or if it requires the cloud. Um, older original releases of the Bambu Lab system required cloud. Here is kind of their workload, it says. So, yeah, so you can see here that Bambu Studio can either talk directly to the printer. That would be an offline mode, and that's a feature that they've offered for a while in Bambu Lab. They've upgraded firmware to do it, um, which is good. So you can have like a closed loop from your slicer to your printer. And then again, there's the offline picture, so it would just directly um, hooked to the printer, and they've got like using the developer mode, and they developed a whole new interface for printers to talk that way. So it has the quick swap nozzle. Come on, show me the tool changing. Their tool changer looks actually cool, and I want to see. Why is it so hard some mornings? I don't know. Bamboo Lab tool changer. That's all I want. Tool changer. Is it the S? Was I right the first time? And I just didn't see it? Do, 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 no. Let's go back up. Tool change. Does this show the... No, it's Facebook. I don't want Facebook. Yeah, there it is. So, let's just... Let's open it up. Look at this big style. It's Reddit, so it's trustworthy, right? Absolutely. Da, 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 da. I would like a better picture. There. There. Let's try this one. Oh, for serious? Is this it? If I just close it? Okay. I can just close it. So you can see here in their little promo video, the little vortex, the quick change kind of like shoot up to pull the nozzle on and off. So like the core of the print head stays, whereas the hot end swap happens through the vortex system there. And this is really something that we saw it with multicolor filament for years. We had open source platforms, we had InterH carrot feeders, we had chameleons, a whole bunch of stuff, iterations. And then one company, Bamboo Lab, formerly engineers from DGI, were like, let's make this printing ecosystem with this thing. And they just cornered the market. And now we see it all the time when a good idea comes. We have like other printer companies like, yeah, I'll jump on board. And then what happens is some companies do it better, some companies do it different, some companies shouldn't do it at all. And I feel like there are companies that have taken like the AMS features and ruled them out better. Now, I just turned on the AI tracking on the camera. That's not what I wanted to do. So you can understand and see how like this would be advantageous because you don't have to have like different pull out, wait for the thing to feed in. This is filament ready, bam, let's do this. If Reddit's good enough to train AI, it's good enough for me. 100%. I agree. Well, I'd be lost without some of the technical Reddit forums. They're good resources. So you can see like it's kind of like picking up the hot ends in the background, swapping stuff. This really lets you print objects quicker with less waste. Like it doesn't need to do the whole pooping thing. Now the H2C, do I have it here still? Yes, I do. So the H2C combo, just the normal combo kind of thing, is $3,200. Not on sale. That's Canadian too. You can do the American math in your head. There's another company that's been doing this for years and has been trying to perfect it, and sell something to the general public, and that is the Prusa tool changing system. So you can tell the site how many heads you want. I want 5 print heads. I would like a printer and just to be a printer. And then I would like it enclosed, like to be. That's so goofy. That is so. Anyway, moving. So you can see here that this printer fully stocked is double of what the Bamboo offering is. So Bamboo has now set their targets and sites to enter the field. But again, like they did with the multicolor filament and like those AMS boxes, they really, really are looking take over that field, and it won't be long if their printer takes off. So if the H2C takes off, it won't be long until we see um, another kind of like revolutionized tool changing. Let's see who can get to the bottom price the fastest. Because when Bamboo Lab printers first came out, of they weren't the most expensive, um, but they weren't the cheapest either, right? So that's what they're trying to do. I priced out the full X and nearly fell off. Yeah, it's crazy. Um, yeah, race to the bottom. Here we go again. And the race to the bottom is actually good for the consumer, right? Because then we can get to a price point where um, you're happy and the technology kind of works, and it usually works well. Like I will say that the race to the bottom for the AMS has done everybody well, including Bamboo Labs, who first came out kind of with the commercial one. Um, Now everything has one, and like like I said, the CFS has some features that are the same, but they also looked at it and went, "We can do that a little better." The way it pulls filament into the AMS has less wear and tear, right? Um, the Snapmaker, Greg's like the Snapmaker one looks cool. It does look cool, but Snapmaker, um, if you guys don't know, Snapmaker is the brand that sells like, they really, really like to sell not just 3D printers, which, as you know, is my favorite thing in the world. But Greg is correct. Let's see if we can find it. There it is. The U1. So they do have a tool head changer themselves, and you can see like this one it works by picking up the module instead of having that insert from the back. The advantages to this one is the motion remains linear. Like I'm not relying on um, another servo to do something before I can actually switch it out. And I think the simpler we can keep that motion, the better. Just from an engineering standpoint, if there's less working pieces, there's less to go wrong. So, um, but I'm happy to see that this says 3D printer, not 3D printer CNC laser. Um, Again, you guys know how we feel about that. If you're going to buy a 3D printer, buy a 3D printer, right? This is the modular printer router. You're always going to suffer, right? A jack of all trades is fine in some situations, but if you're looking for 3D printing, you need that light carriage motion. You don't need a lot of torque on the motors, whereas CNC will, right? The laser, oh my goodness, just kicks gunk up, gets stuff, in the gears. So, but again, of note, still on Super Friday, Black Friday sale. So, Elegoo. I wanted to talk Elegoo just a second in this lineup. So that again, so like I think the most aggressive deals here are coming from Bamboo in the P series. The K series from Creality is all on sale. Um, the the Cutie Tech is also on sale. Those are uh, beasts of a printer, um, and they can't really be ignored. Ugh, wrong window. Um, so when we look at kind of the ecosystem, Elegoo of note was just bought recently, or I don't know if it's 100% buyout, but DJI we're getting back in the business. So they have the Centurion, which is their kind of cube printer, and you can see like this trend of companies still have bed slingers, but lots of them are preferring. Sorry about that. Lots of them are preferring, and we as well prefer like the cube, the Core XY Cube. Um, and of note too, when we're talking about tool changers, like the index tool changing stuff is cool, and it can go. You could modify lots of open platforms to it. So, um, now Elegoo does have a box as well. If I could remember what it's called, like it's a filament changer, but of note, Elegoo is also a little bit of an everything company, but their focus is on resin, and that's where I first kind of got introduced to them was in the resin field, and now 3D printing. So, um, maybe I'm just dreaming. I thought Elegoo had a filament changer. I must be dreaming. I thought they had one. The good news, though, and we were talking a little bit about it this morning in the Discord. Um, Bamboo Labs came out with a filament changer that works with anything that's running Clipper. Or not Bamboo Labs, sorry, Big Tree Tech. Don't lie about Bamboo Lab. Big filament changing system. I forget. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah. So, like, this is it's around the same price point of all the other ones. Right now, it's on sale. Wow, so you get on sale, guys. Um, and Big Tree Tech, this will work with anything that's in the Clipper. So if you buy a printer and it doesn't have one, you can sure add it. Lots of these printers of the square variety have moved away from using like Marlin firmware, and we're almost all on Clipper now. The bed slingers did well with Marlin because they didn't actually need to process as fast as these printers can, and we're pushing the envelope, as it were. So, um, I'm going to wrap up this whole statement with Black Friday's here. What printer do I buy? If you're in an ecosystem, buy the ecosystem if that ecosystem is allowed, where you're going to use the printer. If you're not in an ecosystem yet and you're like, wow, Elegoo, Cutie Tech, Prusa, which do I pick? I would still put my money on Creality into the K series, the K2. Um, However, put a pin in that. If you've never 3D printed before, or you want to do 3D printing but like kind of like on the fly more, Bamboo Lab. Now, again, you have to remember how this printing is happening. Creality, once I work with my Creality slicer, right? So their slicer kind of looks like this, where Bamboo Lab is the same, but this moves over there, right? But when I'm working with a slicer, I slice the plate and then I hit send print. This, you can see, like, I have local, everything is local. So this is going to send and store directly on my local printer. I don't have to send it out on the network. I have to go to the cloud. Cutie Tech's the same. Um, I would just say that the pricing is more aggressive right now on the Creality K series. But like, I personally think that a printer that can be printed from the cloud would be great, which the K series can. I've joined the Creality hub on my phone, and it works fine. The Once we start talking like moving the network traffic, if you're not in a network that's your own, like so if you're at home and you wanted to use Bamboo, that's perfect, right? Because you will let that traffic through. If I'm at home and I want to make sure my printer works easily no matter what use case, like the K series or the Elgato, or sorry, Cutie Tech would be a little bit higher on that list. And again, uh, I, if it's my personal opinion, and what I would actually recommend would just be those in those categories, right? The K series, You can't beat the price. So this is the big one. This is the combo. Not the biggest, rather. I apologize. I think the plus is the biggest, but this is the combo, right? If I go to Bamboo Labs, I'm not recommending um, like the P1S is a great printer. When you look at it, they do have where to go. They have two choices: one with a hub, or one with the old AMS. So you get the new AMS with a hub for $1,000, or you get basically the old combo they sold for about what was it, $700. Now they said that the P1S is going nowhere for a while. Some of the stuff is modular between the two, some of it's not. Um, and yeah, so like IoT stuff. So I have let's nerd out for a second. I have one, two, 6 different networks in my house. I run enterprise level edge firewall stuff. And in fact, when we were having an issue at work with Bamboo printers, um, and I needed to investigate the full story, I actually used my home gear, which is the same brand as work, which was really nice because I could like fiddle around and fart around and I don't have to work in production. Um, I can tell you that there was call enough to remove some of the Bamboo Lab stuff from the network and keep it way more isolated than it was, and to the point of maybe not having them. Yeah, enterprise. Hey, too rich for mine too. But it turns out, what you're the cybersecurity guys, and you want to buy new hardware, and you're like, oh, I don't know how that works. They're like, here, try this at home, and it's been great. Um, it's a little bit. It feels weird running like full out VPNs on the edge at home, but 100%, I agree. IoT stuff, which is Internet of Things, which is 3D printers, like Alexa, smart home, cancel. Oh goodness, um, smart home stuff, like uh, cameras in general. I think that like all of that stuff belongs on a separate network. You can do that like even with the Creality, right? You could do the Creality and just have lots of routers say let this device talk specifically to this device too, right? So there's ways, but like I, if it's me, again, like the price point of the P1S is great, but I'd be looking at the P2, which isn't on sale, which is more than the Creality stuff right now because it's on sale, and it's the same size. Of note, this is 256 by 256 cube, same size as their old printer. Creality came out with a giant printer. No, 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 no. K2 in comparison is 260 cube. Once you get into the Pro and then the Plus, they go up, 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 up. But like both these lines are mature. Um, and then they didn't change the A series. So again, recommendations. I would always say I like the Creality stuff first. If you want something that gives you an easier experience under the hood, QD Tech would be cool. Creality gives you root mode access. If you're a person that just wants to plop the printer down and never prints again or never worries about like configs and that, stop it, that stuff again. Um, then a Bamboo Labs is great for you because it's just sit it there and it will work. I will say that you want to make sure whichever one you're looking for, it matches your use case at home, right? So, do you need it to work offline easily? Then a P1S might not be the right choice. P2S is great. The A1 is fairly okay. The big guys, that's up to you. I don't. If When I look at the H series, the only one that I see a lot of value in right now up front is the H2S. And as you guys all know, my heart has softened to Bamboo Labs over the years. When they first came out, I'm like, I don't get it, I don't care. But now I get it and I care. So um, the moral of the story is you got to pick your use case for your networks. I think Bruce has priced himself out of the game. At this point in time, I think they need to do something pretty drastic to swing back. Um, I would look to Elegoo to see what they do next. Now that they've been bought by DJI, I feel there's going to be something. I feel like they're going to try like a more grandiose, like, check out our printer. It can go make you breakfast or something. Not breakfast, but they're going to try to bring a feature set that really sets them apart in their, and I feel like that's good for us, good for them, good for all. So um the only other thing I think I have to say about that, about the printers and choices, is get filament right now. It's all on sale. Your supplies, folks. Don't forget about supplies. So, not exactly what I wanted to talk about, but close. It's funny how that works sometimes. Next week, maybe I'll roll back into the topic I wanted to talk about, and we'll keep the title similar. Is now that we talked about the printers and maybe we bought one or have a couple, I kind of wanted to just do a really quick back to the beginning and look at Slicer, and really take a look at it, not even from the perspective of like a pro or somebody that is like an upper home user, but also from the standpoint of I just got this for Christmas. So I am, and then also of note, we'll have two more live streams, I think, and then Christmas break, and then back right after, um, kind of like the after New Year's there. What are we talking about here? I'll be looking at retail. Okay, there's lots of things going on. Open print 3D. Okay. I mean, open print makes more sense than open read. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Do, do, do. I can't find any of the words you're saying, but that's okay. I will keep looking. So, thank you for coming out. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here this morning. Like, share, do those things. You can find all of our info at 3dmakeit.ca, or if you want to, you can join up on the Patreon stuff. It's patreon.com. That's 3dmakeit. We keep a little better schedule of when we're going live in there, and like send announcements and pings that way. So, and again, yeah, just share around. Thank you so much. Sure enjoyed it. And yeah, we'll catch up with you guys. I think it's once more. I think it's once more. It might be twice. Once or twice more. But we'll catch you guys later. And yeah, have a great week.